Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. I got another Master Duel video coming at you with probably the most hated deck I will ever post, even if it is unjustly so. I am referring to Snake Eye Auroradon. So, aside from wanting to get my usual fix of pile decks, I did actually have an ulterior motive for building this deck that wasn't trying to piss off the commentaries. I'm trying to finish my token mission for the proficiency test, and I realized that one of the best ways to probably do that was to build in, a Tomahawk Auroradon combo deck. I mean, that combo alone generates, what, 7, 8 tokens? Sometimes 9 per game if you do adventure stuff too. So I was like, yeah, that seems like a pretty good fit. In making it a Auroradon deck, actually ended up being a lot more difficult than you might think. And one of the things that I realized pretty quickly was that I was going to need to lean into another archetype, and then as a result probably 60 card deck in order to be able to actually try to pull this off. And let me tell you something. I played this deck for 3 hours. I had over a dozen really solid games that would, fit for a video. I did not resolve Auroradon or even Tomahawk one single time. I'm not in like rating duels or anything either. I'm talking about Diamond ladder, right? Diamond 5 ladder, late into the season. So, here's the thing, right? And I've always said this about Auroradon. A lot of people really fear this card. I've said in the past that, like, why is it even banned in the TCG, but why especially alongside Tomahawk? Even Tomahawk is feared. Like, I've gotten the response of, like, what are you talking about? There's no way you could possibly ever unban Tomahawk. It's a 2 level 7s into a Link 4 like Appaloosa. And it's like, if you're able to, 1, successfully pull that off, but 2, spending 2 level 7 monsters from your hand to go into checks notes a 3-mat Appaloosa, I think that's fine in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Here's the thing, right? Auroradon might be one of the scariest looking combo lines, and yeah, the board is definitely nothing to be trifled with. Of course, we are looking to end on like Appaloosa, Borreload, Baron, Thunder Dragon Colossus. But again, I didn't actually ever get to do that. I didn't actually ever even get to resolve any of these combo starter cards, because this is like the most stoppable combo in the entire game. Oh my god, literally every single hand trap in the game checks this combo, especially all the commonly played ones. Veiler, Imperm, Ash, Maxi, Nib, Gamma, Ghost Bell in a lot of stages of the combo, Ghost Ogre in many stages of the combo line. There are literally so many ways to stop this not even 1-card combo. That is the other thing about playing Auroradon combo decks in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! My god, trying to play a one card combo deck that is like so reliant on not getting disrupted is like, again, it's not feasible. It's actually just not feasible. It's actually just not feasible at all in this game right now. Like I said, I did not resolve Tomahawk or Auroradon one single time. That's not to say I just lost a bunch. I was able to rank up, but it was entirely off the back of the Snake Eyes engine. Oh, that's not necessarily true. We are actually going to have, I think, at least one game where I scrap together a win from, like, the random pieces of stuff I happen to have in my hand. But a lot of my wins with this deck are off the back of the Snake Eye engine. To be to the point where I had to be fair and admit that this might be one of the best ways to play Auroradon, but this is still like one of the worst ways you could be playing Snake Eye right now. I could have put in more level 7 stuff, like more stuff like Ascendant of Thunder. There's a couple of danger monsters that are level 7 that I kind of considered. I considered playing more Kashtira monsters, like ogres, potentially, to maybe make that a little more consistent. But yeah, just trying to open the level 7 monsters alone is really difficult. And then when you finally do open 2 of them, it's like they just go Veiler and you just have to concede or just lose, basically, right then and there. So the bare minimum of what's kind of required here for the Auroradon combo is a copy of Jet Synchron, a copy of O-Lion, And then, of course, well, now, of course, also the Nemesis Corridor. I think that's pretty much it for the main deck, as far as, like, stuff that's used specifically in the line. And then, yeah, the extra deck commitment is Colossus, Cupid Pitch, Excel Synchron, Borreload Baron, Tomahawk, and the Auroradon. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and Appaloosa. That's pretty much it. So you have more than enough room for the Snake Eye stuff. And, of course, the Snake Eye stuff can even go into, like, Borreload and Baron, too. So that's not really that out of the question, right? But again, the best Auroradon variant is one of the worst Snake Eye variants. Like, I don't know how else to say it besides that. I think there's a lot of, not even like external, but more internal fear mongering when it comes to cards like Auroradon and their capacity to put out a board like Borreload Baron. I think a lot of people are suffering from memories of Halki Fibrax. The days of this combo being that consistent are long gone. And again, like, this is a 2-card combo now. Like, we saw as soon as Hulk got banned in Master Duel, the deck just fell apart and stopped seeing, you know, consistent success. And I remember when Hulk got banned, there was a very loud subsection of the community that said Konami had no idea what they were doing, that you have to ban Auroradon too. But clearly that didn't end up being the case, because this deck doesn't do anything. And I know I'm going to get the comments that are like, well, but it's the principle of the matter. You shouldn't be able to board spam like that. I don't know what people like that are actually talking about, because other decks can very much do this. Like, again, I made a whole video about how game design as a point to why a card should be allowed in a competitive environment is not valid. I'm just gonna say, I think that is a very fancy, dressed up, and objective sounding way to say, I dislike this card, so it should be banned. And I don't really see that opinion as valid if the card is not really causing a problem in the format. And again, Auroradon is so not doing anything in this format that it is a struggle to try to do anything with it in this format. So anyway, that's kind of how my whole spiel. I know some people are going to disagree with me. That's completely fine. I welcome discourse. Just don't like rudeness. You are very welcome to disagree with me and explain, you know, why you think I'm wrong. Just please don't be rude about it. That's the only thing I ask of you. Anyway, so let's go ahead and break this list down card by card, and then we'll see some of these games. Like I said, I didn't actually get to resolve the Auroradon combo, but we did have some pretty interesting scenarios nonetheless. So for our main deck, for 60 card main deck, we're on 3 Effect Veiler, 2 Jet Synchron, 1 Snake Eye Ash, 1 Snake Eye Oak, 1 Snake Eyes Poplar, 3 Maxi, 2 Mecha Phantom Beast O Lion, 3 Ash Blossom of Joyous Spring, 3 Water Enchantress of the Temple, 1 Nemesis Corridor, 1 Kashira Riseheart, 3 The Ascended of Thunder, 1 Wandering Griffin Rider, 1 Illegal Knight, 1 Kashira Fenrir, 2 Kashira Unicorn, 3 Diabellstar the Black Witch, 1 Snake Eyes Flambird Dragon, 1 Nibiru the Primal Being, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 141, 1 Triple Tactics Talent, 3 Small World, 3 Rite of Armiseer, 1 Sinful Spoils of Subversion Snake Eye, 2 Bonfire, 2 Original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye, 1 Dracoback the Rideable Dragon, 1 Pressured Planet Wraithsoth, 1 Divine Temple of the Snake Eye, 1 Fateful Adventure, 1 Kashira Birth, 2 Call by the Grave, 1 Crossout Designator, 1 Wanted Secret of Sinful Spoils, and then finally 3 Infinite Impermanence. One thing I'll note too about the main deck looking at it is that I probably should have cut some of these hand traps to play more level 7 monsters, but I still feel like that would be making my deck worse, because I actually feel like the hand traps in this deck are better than ways to summon Auroradon, because at least then you can stop your opponent instead of making an Auroradon or a Tomahawk that's just going to get negated. But anyway, I digress. Let's read the extra deck real quick here. It's 1 Thunder Dragon Colossus, 1 Cupid Pitch, 1 Excel Synchron, 1 Borreload Savage Dragon, 1 Baron Diffler, 1 number 42 Galaxy Tomahawk, 1 Link Kribo, 1 Heat to the Fire Charmer Ablaze, 1 IEP Masquerena, 1 Barricade Borg Blocker, 1 SP Little Knight, 1 Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon, 1 Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames, 1 Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess, and finally 1 Salamangreat Raging Phoenix. Whew. That'll do it for our list. Let's see these duels. Alright, so our first opponent is going to be on a pretty standard-looking Math Mech list here. Well, relatively. They're on Final Sigma, which I don't really think is a good card, but, I mean, you could play worse stuff, I guess. Alright, so we're going to be taking the first turn here. And you're already kind of seeing, I guess, one of the issues of this deck as far as, like, trying to consistently open level 7 monsters. Now, as I mentioned before during the deck profile portion, yeah, I could be playing less hand traps. Well, not less of these. I'd still play 3 of each of these. But you could play less hand traps and play more level 7 extenders. But the quality of level 7 extenders after Ascendant of Thunder drops off really, really hard. And again, I think you're kind of trying to make Auroradon instead of playing hand traps, as sad as it is. Which again, kind of makes me question why we're trying to play Auroradon at all. So this Droll is completely fine. This Imperm is even more fine. They really didn't want me to extra deck rip them. I guess they're on Math Mechs, that does kind of make sense. But they also have multiple OTK lines. I would have let this Unicorn go, personally, but that's just me. So what I can do here is I can normal summon Jet Synchron, link it to Linkuriboh, then I'm going to link the Jet Synchron, or sorry, the Linkuriboh and the Cashier Unicorn into SP Little Knight. Gonna use Little Knight to banish the Droll, just in case, I don't know, they're on Dragon Rulers and have Tempest or something. Anyway, I can then use Birth to bring back Unicorn, Jet Synchron, pitch Ash Blossom for its own effect. Now, you might be wondering why I pitched Ash Blossom and not Call By there. The reason is that I knew my opponent was going to have an effect failure for this Borreload. There's actually a couple of reasons why I knew that. Well, there's one main reason I knew that. One was the fact that they threw out Imperm against the Unicorn negate. I thought that was a really weird negate, which kind of made me think they might have another negate. Not only that, but my opponent, who had the toggle set to on, so they Impermed the Unicorn, right? And they were still getting past priority. This is also when I had Linkuriboh on the field. They were still getting past priority. But then, when all I had out... Oh, no, sorry. God, I should have paid more attention to this in the moment. It was, right, they Impermed Unicorn, then I activated Birth. That's right, so when I only had a negated Unicorn on the field, they weren't getting past priority. Then I normal summoned Jet Synchron, and all of a sudden my opponent started getting past priority. That tells me that what my opponent has in hand is another monster effect negate. And the fact, okay, you know what else it was, is the fact that while they were resolving the Imperm against Unicorn, my opponent was still holding priority for a couple of seconds, which means they have the opportunity to activate a card. And I'm like, what could they activate while Imperm is on the field? It wouldn't be another Imperm. Oh, it must be Effect Veiler. That's why I pitched Ash Blossom and not Call By here, because, yep, I knew they had an Effect Veiler. And I definitely value my Omni Negate higher than the Ash Blossom here. So yeah, we are absolutely going to Call By this Effect Veiler. So we're looking really, really good, you know? Despite opening a hand that didn't really inherently have any combo lines to it, we're now going into our opponent's 3-card hand with SP, and Omni Negate, and Max C. As soon as they normal summon Defensor, I'm immediately throwing down the Max C. They link off the Defensor into Link Decoder. It's a little bit of a misplay. You're supposed to go for Linkuriboh here. But then I'm going to activate SP Little Knight now to banish both itself and Link Decoder. This will leave the Firewall Guardian kind of stranded on the field by itself, because I'm assuming at this point they just don't play Linkuriboh, which ends up being true. And even if they did have plays to go into like a Splash Mage, I can of course still negate it with like Borreload, right? So a little bit of a misplay to, I guess, summon and then activate Fateful, but nah, we have the normal summon Jet Synchron to follow it up anyway. I don't even really have a specific combo line I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of like playing cards. Although we can use the Draco back. We can summon the token, use the Draco back to bounce the Firewall Guardian, and then, yeah, we have more than enough damage for lethal on board, I'm pretty sure, but there we go. So, yeah, like, these were my games. I either did a Snake Eye combo or kind of cobbled together a win with the random stuff I had like this, right? Which is fun. That's fine with me. I definitely don't have an issue. I love playing pile decks. That's fine with me. But again, I think it illustrates that, like, I don't know if Auroradon is actually that reliable. Let's see some more games here. Okay, going into our second game here, we're going to be up against Kashtira. Like a pure Kashtira deck. It's got the macros and everything. And we are going second. Definitely wanted to show some going second gameplay. Which, by the way, That is another issue for the Auroradon combo, is going second. Just as I don't know if you could really expect to resolve Auroradon under like any one given hand trap. It's hard to imagine resolving an Auroradon combo line under like any given board state your opponent puts up, but opponent didn't really have a full combo here, thankfully. Cashier is pretty inconsistent these days. Looks like it's going to be Scareclaw Cash, couple of back rows pass, excuse me. So I'm going to lead with Small World here. There's a number of ways I could do this, but I ultimately decided to Small World for the Diabell Star. I want to see if I can force one of their back rows to activate while still having the original Sinful Spoils in hand. I can also pitch the O-Lion off Diabell, which will give me this token. I don't need the token for anything in particular, but the extra body will definitely be nice. I could use it for like a Link summon maybe or something. I got Diabell Star, set the OSS, activate my face down OSS, sending the Diabell for Snake Eye Ash, and here's the moment of truth. We'll see if they have a negate for it. They're going to Cashier a Birth. That's completely fine. I don't need any of those cards in the graveyard, so they could have... I don't know if they could have actually done that later, and it would have been better. Maybe. Anyway. Well, no, because the only other real spell I'm going to play here is Divine Temple, right? Which would have the same cards in graveyard as before. So, we'll Temple for Oak, Ash for its effect, sending the Oak and summoning the Flamberge. Now I can activate Flamberge here just to get the Scareclaw Cash off the field. I really don't want to have to deal with it if at all possible in like battle or something. So, yeah, here I can use the token to make the IP Masquerena by linking off Flamberge. They do have a call by for the Flamberge, though. Definitely not ideal, but also not the end of the world, especially in a situation like this. What I can do is, well, especially because I have Nemesis Corridor, but I wasn't even really thinking about that. I was more just thinking about the fact that it doesn't really stop me from making plays here, right? Because Colossus aside, I can still link Poplar and IP into Promethean Princess. And then I can use Promethean Princess to bring back Oak. Oak never got to use its effect, so we can do that. I could have also got into a Link Reaver, I guess, but it didn't really matter that much. Then Oak brings back Ash. Then I move to Battle Phase, because this is actually more than lethal on board, thanks to the Temple. It's been a while since I've played a Snake Eye deck with Divine Temple. This card's actually really, really nice to have for situations like this. And there we go. So that is kind of a combination of falling back on the Snake Eye line and then using the random other stuff in order to like ensure that we are able to find that lethal, you know. It would have been a lot scarier, of course, if our opponent did actually have the Macrocosmos, but yeah, thankfully they didn't here. So anyway, we have one more duel we're going to take a look at before we finish off, so let's see that one. And for our final duel, we're going to be up against Centurion. I think we're going second again here, actually, which is not ideal, but... Okay, so this is... yeah, I opened a lot of hand traps here, but like... Again, like I was saying in that last game, would I have rather opened a random level 7 extender here or the Effect Veiler? I mean, I guess I have multiple Effect Veilers here, but in this case, I think the Effect Veiler was actually much better. Because the alternative would be to try to summon a Tomahawk under a full Centurion board, right? Okay, again, in this case, I had multiple hand traps, but give me the benefit of the doubt here. Let's assume that we only had the Effect Veiler, right? Then it would actually come down to Veiler versus a level 7 extender. And again, I gotta say that I think having a level 7 extender is more of a detriment than having the Effect Veiler. Yeah, you also might notice that I didn't, in none of these games did I actually end up opening 2 level 7 monsters to try to go for an Auroradon combo. But that's because, okay, let me talk about this in a second. So, what I'm doing here is I'm going to make a Barrel and Defleur. And you might be wondering, well, Hex, wouldn't you want to use the OSS to send Diabell and go for Snake Eye plays? But I pitched an OSS that I already opened. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, for one, use Baron to proc the face down card, Cosmic Cyclone. This card's awful in Best of 1 Rank Letter. Don't ever play it. And yeah, that'll force that. But then moreover, I can use the OSS that I pitched in my graveyard to just add the Poplar. Now, granted, my Poplar doesn't have another OSS to get, but it can grab Temple here. Which my opponent concedes to that. I think that's a little bit early of a concede. Although, to be fair, like, I was just going to go Temple, activate Temple, beat down for, what is that, 4,800 damage. then go into Leak Rebo, and then pass. To be fair, though, if a Veiler stopped them on their turn, I think Veiler plus Baron would definitely be enough to stop them. Them realizing they can't play through the Omni is probably why they conceded, or maybe they thought I had a combo here when I didn't. But either way, the thing I was going to say earlier is that you'll notice that in none of these hands that I actually opened 2 level 7 monsters. And the reason that that's true of all these games is because in all the games I did open 2 level 7 monsters and summon Tomahawk, it got negated and I just had to kind of concede immediately after that. So in the Auroradon combo deck, it is actually better to not open the Auroradon combo than to open it, which for me is a pretty definitive tell of something I already know, something I've already been saying, that like Auroradon combo, not really anything to be worried about. Not ban worthy, not even really play worthy in this meta. I don't think I'm going to come back to this deck. I'm probably going to try to find like a Sword Soul deck to finish my token mission. So anyway, that'll do it for this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Let's move now to our outro. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Just want to give you a huge thanks for watching all the way to the very end of the video. Believe it or not, that is actually one of the best ways that you can support the channel, is by watching the videos in their entirety. But there are many ways in which you can support the channel if you are so interested. The names that you're seeing on screen here, I gotta give an extra special thanks to, because these are people who have chosen to either become a member on YouTube, which if you're interested you can do as well via the join button next to the subscribe button down there, or have signed up over on Patreon and become members there. Link to that is going to be in the description below. Without the support that is being offered by, again, all the people that you're seeing on screen right here, I would not be able to take the time to dedicate to uploading daily YouTube videos. So thank you so very much. But there are also other ways you can support as well. Again, link to the description below. If you like my deck tracker that you'll see in a lot of my videos, the Untapped Companion, you can download that for free, and if you use my affiliate link down there, then that also goes a long way towards supporting the channel. That's, again, free. So is subscribing here on YouTube. That's also free and a huge way to support. You can also check out Twitch, once again linked in the description below. Following and subscribing over there will not only support as well, but also give you notifications of when I go live if you want to catch some of the live streams. But really, no matter how you choose to support, it all adds up and it all definitely means the world. So thank you, each and every one of you. For now, this is Hexlex. I'm going to be signing out. But more than that, I'm hoping that you have a fantastic day.